My name is Jessica. I am a single parent with an 18-year-old daughter named Sophia. She is my precious daughter born to my ex-husband Michael. When Sophia was born, I felt happy to some extent, but my ex-mother-in-law harassed me, and my ex-husband did not defend me at all. Moreover, he left me alone to take care of Sophia and had a relationship with another woman. I got fed up with him and decided to divorce him, even though Sophia was only 5 years old. It was really tough right after the divorce. I demanded compensation from my ex-husband and his mistress, but I didn't receive any payment, and my life was always tight. Of course, it was far from being called a wealthy life, and I made my daughter Sophia endure a lot, even though she was young. Somehow, Sophia seemed to sense my anxiety, and she never made any unreasonable demands. She grew up to be a really kind and good girl. Sophia has recently been accepted into a top university. It's been about 13 years since I divorced my ex-husband, and there have been many ups and downs. Seeing my precious daughter grow up so well, I feel deeply moved. Looking back, even though I was anxious about living with my daughter right after the divorce, they are all happy memories now. Of course, there were many difficult times, but our family was always filled with love. One day, my ex-husband Michael called me out of the blue. Huh? Michael? Why now? I had left his contact information just in case, but I demanded compensation from him and his mistress, but I didn't receive any payment, and he was almost completely out of touch. It was the first time he had called me since the divorce. I answered his call with suspicion. Hello?
Oh, Jessica. Long time no see. How have you been?
His voice, which I hadn't heard in a long time, was cheerful. I wondered if he was really reflecting on the past. While feeling exasperated with my ex-husband, I asked him what he wanted to get it over with. What do you want? Then, my ex-husband said something outrageous.
Well, actually, I want to see Sophia.
What? The moment I heard my ex-husband's words, my mind went blank. But I quickly regained my composure and shouted at him for all the pent-up frustration. You haven't paid any child support for 13 years, and now you want to see her? Are you serious?
I'm sorry, but there's something I want to talk to our daughter about.
He said he was sorry, but I couldn't feel any remorse in his words. I'm sorry, but I don't want to introduce Sophia to you, I said firmly. However, my ex-husband didn't seem to give up easily and begged me over the phone many times.
Please, I just want to see her once. I'm her father, so I have the right to see her, don't I?
I finally gave in. Okay. I understand. Let me meet you once before that. After that, I'll decide if it's okay to introduce you to our daughter.
Okay, I understand.
What is he thinking now, after cheating on me and leaving us alone for 13 years? I thought, but as he said, he is Sophia's father. It's not something I can say with 100% certainty that he doesn't have the right to see her. A few days later, I headed to the meeting place.
Long time no see, Jessica.
My ex-husband said with a smile, as if he didn't care about the past at all. I couldn't stand the atmosphere, so I immediately brought up the main topic. By the way, what do you want now? You haven't paid a single penny for compensation or child support. How can you say you want to see Sophia now, then? My ex-husband said with a grin.
I'm sorry, but I've been through a lot too, like getting remarried.
After our divorce, he remarried a woman who was much younger than me and whom he had cheated on me with. 2 years after our divorce, my ex-husband and his new wife had a son. I learned about it from my ex-mother-in-law.
Unlike you, my new daughter-in-law is excellent. She's completely different from you, who can only give birth to a girl.
My ex-mother-in-law made a lot of sarcastic remarks to me. As expected, she had been bullying me since the beginning of my marriage. I told him, "I heard from your mother that you had a son." My ex-husband looked disappointed and hung his head.
Oh, I see. You heard it from my mother. But actually, that child wasn't mine.
What? Really?
Yeah. It seems she was seeing someone else besides me. In the end, it was another man's child.
Oh. That's too bad. I almost said, "Serves you right," but I held back the impulse and gave him some kind words. Well, if your mother is happy, that's all that matters. Of course, that wasn't my true feelings. Just thinking about how much I suffered because of my ex-mother-in-law and ex-husband makes me want to cry. My ex-mother-in-law loved to bully me, and my ex-husband Michael was just a mama's boy who didn't try to stop her. Even when I gave birth to Sophia, my ex-mother-in-law made rude comments without hesitation.
I'm disappointed that it's a girl. She doesn't look anything like Michael. What about the heir? Is she really Michael's child?
When I reported this to my ex-husband,
My mother didn't mean any harm. It was just a joke among family members. Just laugh it off.
He laughed it off and did not take it seriously. When his infidelity was discovered, he didn't feel guilty at all.
Oh, you found out? Actually, there's a woman I like who's much younger and better than you. My mommy is telling me to break up with Jessica, who can only give birth to a girl, and remarry a younger woman.
Talking to my ex-husband after a long time, I couldn't help but remember the past. I felt more and more that I didn't want to introduce him to my daughter. However, he continued to ignore me.
So, the affair partner's child isn't mine, and I need an heir. So I want to meet Sophia.
What are you talking about? I have no obligation to listen to your request. You did whatever you wanted, and now you suddenly want Sophia to be your heir. I was so angry at his outrageous remarks that I ended up shouting at him. I mean, if you need an heir that badly, why don't you catch some woman somewhere and have a child? I threw the most sarcastic remark I could think of at him. To which my ex-husband replied with a bored tone.
I got sick a few years ago, so I can't make babies anymore.
So you need Sophia for that? I don't care. Sophia doesn't want to see you either, and you should give up on the heir thing. As I tried to leave, my ex-husband grabbed my arm with incredible force. Hey, let go. As I tried to shake his hand off, my ex-husband shouted at me.
Mommy says we need an heir. Give me Sophia back.
Not only me, but other customers in the store turned around at my ex-husband's words. Mommy. A grown man arguing with the word Mommy in a loud voice. He suddenly came to his senses and said before leaving the store.
Anyway, try asking Sophia how she feels. If she says it's okay to meet, I'll let you meet her.
No matter what he said, I had no intention of introducing Sophia to him. I would never see my ex-husband again. I thought as I went home. When I casually told my daughter about today's events, she gave an unexpected response.
"Huh. I'm okay with meeting Dad."
Huh? Wait, Sophia, are you joking? I asked in a hurry, but...
"No, I'm serious. If I meet Dad, Grandma will be there too, right? I want to meet her even more,"
she said with a smile. Even after I persistently tried to persuade her, her feelings did not change. A week later, I went to my ex-in-law's house with my daughter. It was the first time in 13 years that I had visited my ex-in-law's house. It looked the same from the outside, but the inside of the house was quite run down. Moreover, the first thing my ex-mother-in-law said to me when she saw me after a long time was this.
"I wonder why you came to? It's enough for Sophia to come."
I barely managed to respond. I am Sophia's guardian. While holding back my anger. When we were led to the living room, my ex-mother-in-law immediately started talking to Sophia.
"Long time no see, Sophia. I heard you're going to a top university?"
My ex-mother-in-law had a creepy smile on her face. Sophia responded cheerfully without being bothered by my ex-mother-in-law's behavior.
"Yes. I'm going to study law at the Faculty of Law because I want to become a lawyer in the future."
After seeing such an obedient daughter, did she think she could manipulate her? My ex-mother-in-law said something outrageous.
"Well, as expected of a lawyer. Our blood runs in her veins, so I knew she was capable, but she's really amazing. Hey, Sophia, why don't you come to our house and become the heir?"
At that moment, everything I had been holding back came out all at once. What are you talking about? What are you saying now?
"Wait, Mom, let me say something."
Sophia stopped me as I shouted at my ex-mother-in-law. Sophia took a deep breath and then slowly opened her mouth.
"I don't know what you're misunderstanding, but I didn't come here today to become the heir."
"Huh?"
My ex-mother-in-law was surprised by Sophia's unexpected words and let out a stupid voice.
Wait, is that not it?
Even my ex-husband, who was there, seemed genuinely surprised.
"There's no way I'm going back to the place that caused my mother so much pain. I came here today to claim $70,000 in child support for the past 13 years, and $15,000 in compensation."
What? $70,000?
My ex-husband was trembling at the high amount of money. My ex-mother-in-law showed a surprised expression for a moment, but immediately changed her attitude.
"What impudence. We won't pay for such a thing."
But my daughter interrupted them again.
"Is that so? If you say you're going to default on it, I'll ask the family court for a recommendation. If you still refuse to pay, I'll seize your savings and salary. If you're okay with that, please feel free to do so."
My daughter completely dominated the conversation, and my ex-mother-in-law and ex-husband were too scared to say anything. In front of the two of them, my daughter smiled.
I said it, didn't I? I want to become a lawyer.
At the very end, my ex-mother-in-law and ex-husband, who were dealt the final blow by my daughter, were completely disheartened. They had become like empty shells.
Mom, let's go. We're done here.
Seeing my daughter smile as if nothing had happened, I thought, I can't win against my daughter. However, thanks to my daughter's clear words, I felt refreshed. What she said must have had an effect on those two more than me shouting at them. As my daughter suggested, I hired a lawyer and claimed child support and compensation, and my ex-mother-in-law and ex-husband paid the requested amount of about $85,000 in a lump sum. I think the words my daughter used, such as family court and a seizure, had an impact on them. Thank you. It's all thanks to Sophia. I'm sorry for making you feel uncomfortable all this time. When I told my daughter that, she responded in a slightly angry tone.
Geez, what are you saying now? My present is all thanks to you, Mom. You don't have to work overtime anymore, so take care of yourself a little.
I couldn't help but cry at her words. She really grew up to be a good kid. Afterwards, I received a ridiculous mail from my ex-husband saying,
I paid properly and I want to start over from scratch.
It was too much trouble to reply, so I blocked all of my ex-husband's contacts. I also refused to accept his calls. Looking at my ex-husband and ex-mother-in-law, I realized that there are pitiful people who can't change even after many years, despite being adults. On the other hand, my daughter is growing up more and more beautifully. Seeing my daughter up close, I feel proud and think, I'm really glad I gave birth to this child.
How was this story? Please subscribe to the channel as well. Well then, let's meet in the next video.